Do you want to have the ultimate control over your life? Welcome to Take Control with Whitney Wells, where we will explore all topics of life that we try and control, what this creates for you, and how to have successful relationships all while empowering yourself. Keep listening and let's have some fun. Hi, everyone, and welcome to episode 50 of Take Control with Whitney Wells. So fun. We're at 50 episodes. What a fun number to hit. It took a bit, but we're here. We're here. 50 episodes. So fun. Yay. I hope everyone had a great week. I hope that you enjoyed any weather that you're experiencing. We had some snow here. And we enjoyed some sledding, and it wasn't much, but at least we got to, sled a bit. My son loves it, so that was fun. And he started indoor soccer. That's so exciting. I'm not the coach of this team, so I get to watch as a parent, which is also so much fun for me. So I get to see him out there, and it's a joy I cannot describe. All right, so let's dive into today's topic. I am super excited about it. So today we're going to talk about perfectionism, how it can be harmful, and what to do instead. I'm going to give you some solutions, some mindset shifts that you can implement right into your life right away, and hopefully they're beneficial for you. Hopefully you can use them to help you if you want. Always an option, right? So ask yourself these questions. Do you ever want perfection from yourself? Do you ever want to be perfect in your life in certain areas, maybe with your relationship or certain goals that you set for yourself? Or being, a mom or a wife or a friend, right? Do you oftentimes feel like you fall short a bit and never quite reach that perfect level that you're wanting to reach? Well, if so, keep listening. I have some great ideas to share and great tools that you can implement. So this episode is about striving for perfection and what that creates for you, how it may be harmful, and then I'll give you those suggestions of what to do instead. Because we always want those solutions, right? Those ways to help. Now, this episode and this topic is super important to me. It's very personal to me because I often find myself striving to be perfect in certain areas of my life. Now, this hasn't served me. And really, when I break it down and dissect it, it has held me back. It has held me back from becoming that person I want to be, reaching those goals, doing those things, putting myself out there. Now it has held me back at times, right? Now I have done the work, right? I've looked at myself and I've done this work, and I want to share my thoughts in this subject and offer you some helpful tools, these mindset shifts that could help you if you're in this same boat that I'm in. Now, if you listen to my last podcast, my last episode of becoming the person that you want to be, we asked the question, who do you want to be? And I did this myself. I asked myself this same question as well. And one of the things that came up for me was, I want to strengthen my relationship with myself by showing up for myself even when it's uncomfortable. And this includes this podcast, as I mentioned last episode. But I don't want to hold myself back, right? I don't want to hold myself back by striving for perfection. So I am aiming to be imperfect. I'm not aiming to be perfect in these episodes, in this podcast. I am simply just going to show up And the results will be perfectly imperfect episodes of me in your ear talking. But that in itself is perfect. These episodes will include all of my humanness, so I hope you enjoy. Now, in this episode, I'm going to discuss what perfectionist mindset really is doing. What happens when we strive for perfection in your life or in your relationships, etc., for a goal you're trying to reach. I will offer you a couple potential ways to approach this perfectionist mindset to help create more of what you want in your life, so it doesn't hold you back, so you can move forward. Now, first, I want to discuss how perfectionist thinking may be harmful for you. Now, I have seen how being a perfectionist can be so harmful through the work with my clients and with myself, as I mentioned. But from a quick glance, without dissecting it all, being a perfectionist, it kind of sounds nice, right? You're trying to be the best you that you can be. That's what we kind of think of when we think of a perfectionist. But is this really true? Are you striving to be the best you that you can be? Or are you striving for this unattainable, perfect goal? So we're going to explore this. What happens when we aim for perfection? Well, there are three main things that I see happening when we strive for perfection. Now, the first one that I'm going to discuss is wanting to be perfect sometimes keeps you from starting. Does this ever happen to you? You have something, a goal maybe that you want to reach, a way in which you want to show up, but wanting to be perfect keeps you from putting yourself out there, trying, moving forward. When we strive for perfection, we are often stuck. We sit in fear of not being perfect or good enough. And this keeps us from trying or from moving forward towards what we want. We are scared to try because what if we mess up and don't do it perfectly? Because then if we do try, right, if we do put ourselves out there and we try for, being the perfect mom, the perfect wife, showing up in that way, going towards that goal, if we do show up and we aren't perfect, we make it mean all these negative things about ourselves, right? Maybe I'm a horrible mom. I'm a terrible wife. I'm just doing it all wrong. Ultimately, it's all circling the same general thought of I am not enough. Now, these thoughts just hold you back from showing up how you want to. They hold you back from starting. Now, the second main thing that I see happening when we strive for perfection is wanting to be perfect has you stop what you have potentially started. Now, you may show up for your goal or for that relationship or for that job in whatever way that you want to, right? You're starting on your journey, but then you find yourself stopping and not performing and quitting maybe and just not showing up as the person that you want to be along the way, along this path, along this journey in your life. And this want for perfection may cause the same end result as the first scenario. There's some imperfection for you. You may feel stuck, right? You may sit in fear of being perfect or good enough. And this keeps you from trying or moving towards what you want. So yes, you started, right? You started towards that goal, or you started to show up in that way you want to, but then realized you weren't doing it perfectly. And this set you back. Now, this leads to my third outcome that occurs when you strive for perfection, which is wanting to be perfect can set you up for failure. So you strive and want and aim for perfection, right? Do you ever reach that level? Now, a friend of mine referred to this as the finish line or goalpost that just keeps on moving further and further away. Because the way I see it is, no, being perfect isn't attainable. Now, unless you believe you are already perfect, right? You have that belief within you. You believe that thought that you are showing up perfectly, which then you will create that for yourself. But most of us never reach this perfect level that we are striving for. We don't believe that we are showing up perfectly. And by wanting perfection, you set yourself up for the impossible. And when we don't believe that you have reached this end result that you want, right, of being perfect, then you often beat yourself up, put yourself down. And this has the opposite result, the opposite outcome that you want. When we aren't nice to ourselves, right, when we beat ourselves up and put ourselves down for not being perfect, we will show up in the world and to others, the people around us, the people we interact with this same hate we have for ourselves. So while striving for perfection, you are ultimately taking steps in the opposite direction and setting yourself up for failure. You're going in the opposite direction. You are moving away from that goal that you want to reach. You're taking steps backwards on your journey of being who you want to be as a mom, a wife, a friend, a daughter, an employee, etc., right? So those are the three things I see happening when we strive for perfection that could be harmful to you and your relationships, to your journey, to your goal setting, right? Now for the solutions. We love the solutions. Some great tools and mindset shifts that you can implement right away. So if you're wanting to be perfect in areas of your life, there are some ways I'm going to suggest that you can approach your perfectionist mindset to help create more of what you want in your life, to help you move forward towards that goal, to help you show up as the person that you want to be. Now, the first one, and I believe this one is a bit harder to do, but it is an option. And I kind of touched on it a bit ago, but it is accepting that you are already perfect. Now, I usually don't do this one for myself. I don't implement this for myself because it's a bit harder for me, but it is an option. Accepting you are perfect. No matter how you are showing up, you can believe that you are the perfect mom, the perfect wife, the perfect friend, the perfect employee. Believing this is available to you because thoughts are optional and you can choose to believe what you want. And then you can keep moving forward and showing up as the best you that you can be. You can show up as your best. But you need to really believe it for it to work. I'll show you what I mean by this. When you believe you are doing it perfectly, you probably feel certain, confident, capable, right? Those are the feelings that may come from this belief when you believe that you are doing it perfectly. And when you feel an emotion like this, certain, confident, or capable, you'll take actions that come from these feelings. These behaviors could be producing work you are proud of, being there for your kids, being there for your husband, being supportive, showing up for yourself, taking steps towards that goal, etc., right? Whatever perfect means to you, if you can define it for yourself. And then you create, as your result, you being the most perfect you that you can be. So you are being perfect, right? If you don't fully believe that you are doing it perfectly, you can't create the feeling that drives your actions, that creates the result of being the best you that you can be. So it is an option of believing this, of believing you are showing up perfectly. But you do have to believe it. You have to truly believe it for it to work. So believing your thought, that's the key, right? It's the key for you to choose if you want to implement this strategy, this solution, this mind shift for yourself. Personally, I find that sometimes this is just hard for me to believe for myself. So I choose the second approach. I choose the second approach, which I have found has opened up a whole new world for me, which is accepting that you are perfectly imperfect and simply do not strive for perfection. You just don't strive for it. But instead, strive to be the best imperfect human with bumps and mess-ups and setbacks here and there. This will allow you to move in the direction that you want. This will allow for you to show up for yourself, show up for your family, show up for your friends, show up for your loved ones, show up for the people around you in ways that you want to. Show up for you who's listening to this podcast. That's what I'm doing. And you'll have, by doing this, by not striving for perfection, by striving for being that imperfect human, you will have more love to give to yourself and to spread to others. You won't beat yourself up because you're not striving for perfection. You're striving for imperfection. So if you encounter any bumps or any hiccups or any quote-unquote failures along the way, it doesn't mean anything about you. It simply means it's part of the process. Now, personally, a huge step for me was accepting that I will not do things perfectly and being okay with that. I am not a perfect mom. I am not a perfect wife. I am not a perfect human. And that is all perfect. I am not trying to be perfect. By not striving for perfection, I free myself from this impossible goal I have set for myself. I am able to move forward. I'm able to show up. I'm able to create more connection and share love with those around me and with myself. I accept me and I love me with all the imperfections. And this is available to you as well, if you want. Now, you can even take this a step further and not just accept your imperfections, but celebrate them as well. What if instead of striving to be perfect, we strived to be imperfect? Imagine how many more times you may take that risk or try for that thing. Put yourself out there for that goal. Imagine how you would show up for yourself, your family, your relationships. Now, I recently posted on social media about celebrating your imperfections, and it came along with an amazing quote that I saw. And it reads, "In Japan, broken objects are often repaired with gold. The flaw is seen as a unique piece of the object's history, which adds to its beauty. Consider this when you feel broken." I absolutely love this way of thinking. It gives you room to embrace your quote-unquote flaws and really opens us up to strive for cracks and bumps and breaks and failures, quote-unquote, right? and not make them mean anything negative about ourselves. As I said, they're simply just a part of the process that makes us even more beautiful. Adds to our beauty, our uniqueness, as the quote says. So if you're trying to be the perfect mom, the perfect wife, the perfect partner, the perfect daughter, the perfect friend, if you're trying to have the perfect relationship and be perfect when you're going for a goal, showing up in that job, doing that thing, whatever it may be, I want to offer to you that you can stop aiming for this. It is an option. You do not need to be perfect. You have the opportunity to accept and even celebrate your full, messy humanness. And allow yourself to show up without striving for perfection. Or decide you are perfect. Decide and believe that you are perfect. You are showing up perfectly. You are doing it and you are amazing. Now, either way, don't let perfectionist thinking hold you back from being the amazing person that you are. It does have that ability to keep you from moving forward. But you are stronger and you have these tools to help you take control, decide on purpose, and be intentional with your life and your relationships. If you want more of this, if you're interested in creating more connection, more love, deepening that intimacy, having less arguments, less frustration in your relationship, reach out. I am here for you. I have an amazing program. It's only 3 months long, limited spots. We work one-on-one, and we will transform your relationship into what you want, what you desire. So you can head on over to whitneywellscoaching.com, schedule a free chat with me, and you can sign up, reserve your spot. And the other option is shoot me an email at whitney@whitneywellscoaching.com, and I'm happy to answer any questions. Also, if you have any feedback that you want to share, if you have any podcast episode topics that you want me to cover, feel free to reach out. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear your feedback. And if you like this episode, feel free to share, rate, send it to your friends, your family. All right. Well, I'll see you next week. Thank you so much for joining me. Have an awesome week. Bye. Do you want to explore these topics further? Are you ready to live the life that you want to live on purpose while controlling what you have control over? I would love to be your life coach. If you're interested, simply head over to whitneywellscoaching.com and book an appointment with me today. I can't wait to work with you.